cast from the coast.
There's no more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Here's Johnny.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
This 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
The boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
Welcome everybody to episode 39 of They Cast from the Coast. My name is Adam Miles and I have with me as always, Tim! I will not be threatened by a walking Meatloaf Johnson.
I don't even know what that is.
Come on, blank. One of you two have to know where that's from.
But your delivery was fantastic, Adam.
Yeah, it's funny as hell. I'm just drawing a blank here.
Yeah, I have no idea.
American Werewolf in London. And the realization and the light bulb goes off at the exact same time. It was brilliant, gentlemen. Thank you. How you doing, Tim?
I'm good.
Good, man. What have you been up to?
Do I really have to, elaborate? Because it's the same thing I do every week.
It's the Pinky and the Brain situation. Same thing we do every week.
Yeah. No, it's just editing pictures. My focus right now is getting these HalCon pictures edited and done and out. That's pretty much what my life has been, aside from, watching some things. It's been a couple days since we've actually all talked.
Yeah.
Completely marathon Stranger Things Season 2. I loved it.
I love it.
I loved it.
Perfect.
What else did I watch? Halloween night. For the first time, I've never done this. Ever. Watched the original John Carpenter 1978 Halloween, immediately followed up by Halloween 2. I've never done
that
in one sitting.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is, and I'm really surprised at how well they were able to keep the tone and feel. It literally felt like a continuation of that night, and it was beautiful. But the cool thing is that I got to watch it with my very dear friend Andrew, who was dressed as Michael Myers.
Nice.
Posting pictures later on, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Tim has some awesome pictures of Andrew done up in his great new mask that was made by Tyler Adams, Big Sharp Knife Studios, and he looks fantastic in it. It's amazing.
Yeah, that poster replica was awesome.
Thank you.
That was top notch, man. I thought it was the original poster. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Halloween. Tim's posting Halloween stuff. I'm like, wait a minute,
what?
There's something. Yeah, I'm like, wait, there's something different about that. I'm looking closer. Holy Jesus, man! Awesome, great job.
Thank you.
Great.
The same as the HalCon photos I noticed today, like the Game of Thrones ones that you're posting from HalCon. Blown away, man! Like awesome, amazing work.
People.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, people, you need to follow Misunderstood Photography on Facebook as well as the Misunderstood Art Company to pay attention to actually the photos that we're talking about and see what Tim's putting out every week. I can't stress this enough. Go and like and subscribe to it and check it out. Go ahead, Tim.
Thank you. No, well, what I was going to say was that Halloween poster in particular is my favorite. I love that poster. Now, I love the cover poster of the pumpkin with the knife. I've always loved that. That's iconic. But as far as a Michael Myers image, that one of him looking over the ledge down the stairs, I love it. So I wanted to recreate it, but I didn't want to make it exact because one of the things that always bugged me was the title font of Halloween is outlined in red, where it should be outlined in orange.
Right.
So my version, I fixed that.
Yeah.
When I say fixed it, it was probably a conscious decision, but I changed that, but it was really cool, and creepy. Andrew really gets into character when you shoot with him as a slasher icon. Like, he didn't talk much. I'd ask him a question and he'd tilt the head, right?
Method actor.
And yeah, and I mean, he's 6'5", right? So he's not normally intimidating until he puts on a mask, which is funny because the other mask that Tyler made for us, the Jason mask, along with the hockey mask by Crystal Lake Industries, we did a shoot with that as well.
Which I haven't seen anything on yet, which I can't wait.
And I have to say that Andrew was Jason Voorhees. And it's funny because we did both shoots back to back, and he felt like a different person both times.
That's amazing.
Like it's like his posture changed, and like it was weird. And I mean, I didn't want to tell him that you're really creeping me the fuck out right now. Right? But the thing is he'll watch this episode and he'll know that I'm saying this, so whatever. But it was so much fun, and I geeked out as much as I did when I shot with the 501st guys a couple months ago. And you guys know I'm a huge Star Wars fan, right? So that was automatic geek out. I geeked out as much with this one because I was like, oh, we should try this iconic shot and this iconic shot and this iconic shot. And I was experimenting with lighting. It was a lot of fun.
Can't wait.
Move around the table. We
got shit to do. Dave, the other Miles. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Did you call him the other White Miles?
No, the other Miles.
Oh, I thought the other White Miles.
The other
Miles.
Yeah, the other white meat.
The other white meat. What the hell?
That's what I heard. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Tim,
my
you hungry
God.
or something?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's hard to believe Halloween is over for another year.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on to the other stinky holiday. Christmas.
Oh.
I said it, C word.
That's okay. There's a couple of good Christmas horror movies that are coming out this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not a bad
Star
time
Wars
of
is
year.
coming out. Calm down.
Wars, exactly.
Star Wars.
Great time of year. It's a great time.
Exactly.
Really nice.
Most of my time lately has just been focused on. We've started rehearsing now for our March play, Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap. So I'm co-directing that one, and I'm pretty much focused on that right now. So that's consuming a lot of my time. Other than that, just trying to watch as much TV and some movies as what I can. I caught a new movie yesterday, not a new movie, but obviously new to me. In anticipation of tonight's episode, we're going to be talking obviously about found footage tonight. So I actually had a chance to watch the Poughkeepsie tapes yesterday.
You're just seeing that for the first time?
It's only been available in bootlegs previously, but Scream Factory, Shout Factory, has released it officially on Blu-ray, and I had a chance to watch it yesterday, and wow, it creeped me the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this, like the new version, because I watched the bootleg a long time ago when it first came out, and it was a creepy movie. But I mean, it was just basically. I mean, for lack of getting into it, it's almost like an episodic situation, and it's just it's almost like it's just a continuing found footage of just interesting things. Like you're watching it, going, "What's going to happen next?"
Well, I mean,
what's this setup? You know what I mean? It's weird.
In that voice.
The movie itself is set up as a documentary, and interspersed with the documentary and the interviews it's the footage
that he
tapes.
stored from all those killings.
I mean, it's not gory. It's
disturbing.
Unsettling.
It's disturbing.
Disturbing. It gets under your skin, and it creeped me out. Like it was, again, it wasn't the gore factor. It was just it excelled at getting under your skin and just giving you that creep out factor. It was crazy.
Yeah, when it first came out, one of the creepiest things was the one where he's walking on all fours and he's got the mask on the back of his head, and she's taped up right in the camera, and you can see her kind of looking out of the corner of her eye, and he's just staring at her.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
All in all, I thought it was very well done, and I'm shocked that I'm shocked that it took 10 years to get an official release on home video. Maybe they just, I don't know, maybe the company just looked at it. I think it was MGM was the original backer. Maybe they just looked at it and said, what the hell do we do with this? I don't know. Because it's so out there. Like, it's just so disturbing.
Weird.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you haven't seen it, track down a copy and watch it because it's a great movie.
They're not paying us to say that, by the way.
Yeah. I'm not getting paid to say that.
You don't get paid. Shit.
Before you start, Adam, it actually reminded me of a movie that I kept putting off because I wasn't a fan of the original one, and I watched this sequel to it mostly because of the director. I watched, and I absolutely loved, because it was creepy, in my opinion anyway, Annabelle Creation.
It was a good movie.
The one scene where it shows the little girl go under the stairs, and the doll is there in the chair, and you see the Baphomet head kind of in the shadows, and he just pulls back, and then it creeped the fuck out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you. And like, there was a couple points where like you would see the glowing eyes, and that's my like I don't.
We talked about that before. The glowing eyes thing always gets us.
Glowing eyes in the dark. I don't know why, but it was a really good movie. I was really surprised.
Nice. It was night and day. Compared to the original. David F. Sandberg, the director of Annabelle Creation, did Lights Out, which I think we're all fans of. We talked about it in a previous episode.
Well, the cool thing about him is the fact that he started on YouTube making fan movies, and now, and like, it's almost like he hasn't been corrupted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or like diluted or whatever. He still has a very strong vision, and watching Annabelle, it just felt very much like, yes, this is one of his movies.
Yes,
his thumbprint is all over it, and just like certain camera angles and like shots. I love how it tied into the first one at the end. It was one of those movies that I was like, yeah, I guess I'll watch it. There's nothing on or whatever, and I watched it, and I'm like clapping at the end, by myself. This movie was awesome, right?
Wasn't it? Okay.
Sorry, I would have said it during my little section at the start. I completely forgot until Dave started talking about that movie. Okay, go ahead, Adam.
Great.
There's no worries. I own Annabelle Creation, but I haven't seen it yet, so it's one of those movies that's in my queue to watch. So
I own Annabelle Creation, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Dude, that's like everything. I'm looking at my Apple TV earlier, and it's like 1,015 movies on my Apple TV that I own now, and it's like, the fuck am I going to find time to watch all this? I don't know anymore, but I'll figure it out anyway.
I just don't have time to watch all of my collection anymore.
Well to do.
I'm a very important person. Kind of a big deal around here. Oh man. Okay, enough about that shit. Now my time has been pretty fun. Stranger Things 2, binged it. Oh yeah, amazing. Absolutely hit every note for me possible. It was great.
Didn't you love Steve this season?
Steve was awesome. Steve, my two favorite characters now in the show, and they were paired up for almost the entire season. Steve and Dustin, and they were perfect. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
And left it wide open for the third season, and I'm actually starting to get into beyond Stranger Things, so I can get some more time watching the characters and learning about the show with the Duffer Brothers and stuff, so that'll be fun.
I'm only about halfway through, but it's good. I already know what happens.
Good for you, Dave.
So, spoilers, it's okay.
Good for you, Dave. That's good.
It's good so far, though. I'm enjoying it.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic.
It's solid. It's more of what we loved with the first season.
100% and 100%, and it goes above and beyond, and I love it. You can tell it's a bigger budget. You can tell it's more crafting to the story. It's great. I also watched a movie that kind of gave me a little bit of a surprise, like a little bit kitschy. Kind of reminds me of like, an early 90s horror movie, because it wasn't really horror, it's more of a thriller, but I watched that one, Happy Death Day.
Yes, I watched that too.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm not going to say great movie, but I'm going to say not bad. It was entertaining.
It was a horror movie of like Groundhog Day. It's awesome.
It was
I
Horror
liked
Groundhog
that.
Day.
There was a couple things about the movie that I really didn't like. I couldn't get behind certain things in the movie. I did like the twist to the end because, in all honesty, I thought that what it was supposed to be the ending was a little bit of a cop-out. I was like, oh shit, it's going to be one of these movies. No real good explanation. It's just going to end with this. And then all of a sudden, the little twist, and I was like, ooh, they actually kind of caught me with that. Like, that was good. She was a fun character. The boy that she keeps waking up in his bedroom, I can't even remember his name now, but he was a funny character, and it was just, it got good. And I'm not going to say, oh my God, it was amazing, but it was up there with like The Babysitter for fun. Like, I really did enjoy it. Even the wife sat down and finished watching it with me, and she was like, it was pretty good, you know? So
I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to like it. I knew I was going to like it. It just did the concept. It was I love Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. I love that movie.
And then at the end, oh, you've never seen Groundhog Day with Bill Murray? They're sitting there talking about it.
Yeah, I love that movie. I love Groundhog Day, and like when I first started seeing the trailers for it, I was like, oh my God, this is if Groundhog Day was a horror movie. Yeah, and it was. If Groundhog Day was a horror movie, I loved it.
Which is even funnier because it brought me back because I found the video on YouTube after I watched this because I thought the same thing. A couple years ago, somebody cut Groundhog Day, like the trailers for Groundhog Day, as a horror movie. Yeah. And it had the same vibe and feeling, like he was like murdering himself and other people and shit like this. It was hilarious. Yeah. So, other than that, a little bit of a sad, with Halloween ending, I helped take down the haunt that I was acting in for the last, few weeks in the month. So that was a little bit of a depressing day. We're all kind of like, taking down the tarps and putting away the animatronics and shit and going, oh, gotta wait till next year, But it was fun. Great team, great crew. So, that's all I really have to say there, guys. But tonight's conversation is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It is. It's going to be extremely fun. Why is it going to be fun? Tim, what are we talking about tonight, by the way?
We are going to take our listeners and viewers on an exciting journey of awesomeness.
Ooh, it's exciting.
We're going to talk about the Is it a
genre? Tell us about the genre.
Oh, it's definitely a subgenre.
Subgenre, Tim. Subgenre.
Of found footage movies.
Ooh,
the good, the bad, and the fucking awful.
There's no in between. There's good, there's bad, there's fucking awful. Or as we would probably call it, shitty.
Yeah, we could possibly give it a rating.
We could give it a rating of
we
some
could
kind.
We could rate it.
We could
rate it.
We could potentially rate something. I don't know. But we'll rate it something here. That'll come to us at one point or another.
All right.
So yeah. But you know what? This opens up for good conversation because we got a couple of minutes before we actually get into the conversation tonight. So I think it would just be a good idea just to kind of tell a little bit about what we like about, or you know what? No, let's go a different route with that. What's your favorite found footage film, and what's your, I don't even want to say what's your most hated. What do you like the most? What is the ultimate found footage film for you, Tim?
I would say it's probably, for me personally, some people might disagree, my favorite found footage movie was the movie that introduced me to this type of movie, The Blair Witch Project.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
It is
because
the movie that started
when did it come out? 99?
99.
It was 99?
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen a movie like this. Now, I know there's movies that have done kind of found footage-y kind of stuff in the past, or POV shots or whatever, right? But I found how the Blair Witch was done with a very limited budget, and the fact that more than half of the dialogue was improvised between these three characters in the woods. I thought it was great. And you never got to see anything because they were using that, what you don't see is far scarier than what you do see, and this type of film format really lended itself for this story. And I found that, because I saw it in the theater, it didn't really scare me when I saw it, but then when I'm walking home from my girlfriend's house at the time and had to cut through the woods at night. And you know what I mean? Then it started
Yeah.
playing, so I was like, okay, so that's a sign that this movie did kind of scare me. And I've never really been scared by a found footage movie since. But there's been ones that have been done really well and ones that have been fucking awful.
There's lots of those.
Yeah.
Just going to say it. There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave.
I love Blair Witch, by the way. I saw it in the theater. It's a fantastic movie. I think it catches a lot of flack for no reason. But absolutely, hands down, the one that sticks with me the most is the first one that I ever watched that contained found footage. It was really my introduction to it, which was Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
And I mean, for obvious reasons, it sticks with you, whether it's from the opening music.
I love that
the soundtrack.
music. That soundtrack blows me away. I love it.
But you don't even have to. It just blows me away. I thought he was going to say I blow chunks or something,
Just his voice.
It's such a happy song.
It just blows.
It just blows me away.
Just blows me away.
That movie, it sticks with you, and I don't know. It's just it's disturbing. It gets under your skin, I guess. Yeah,
Nice.
it's very well done, and I think it was certainly wasn't. I don't even think Cannibal Holocaust really was the first found footage, but
First really
it's really the one
recognized,
that
I want to say.
it's probably the one that went mainstream. You know what I mean? And really introduced it to the mass. And I mean, I'm not going to go into it here, but I mean, those that aren't familiar with Cannibal Holocaust can certainly look up the controversy and everything surrounding it. With it contained real animal deaths.
Who the hell would not be familiar with the Cannibal Holocaust, though? That's what I'm going to question.
No,
Really?
You believe it or not, yes. There's a lot of people that,
Wow.
we're not all horror movie snobs, Adam.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the people listening to this podcast, at the very least, most likely know of this film.
Yes.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, if you're not,
you know
like
what?
Dave says, go find it.
Exactly. I mean, this is the job of the podcast also. I mean, this is why we love doing the show, is because we can introduce our audience to these movies.
Adam's very animated tonight. He's very animated. I'm watching you, Dave, talking, and you're speaking from your soul, like your love of horror movies. And Adam's over there going,
The fuck is he talking about?
it's just funny. Sorry.
No love.
Tons of love, Dave. Tons of love. Love you too.
That's it. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Anyway, if you haven't seen Cannibal Holocaust, go check it out. It's a fantastic movie, and it's number one on my list for found footage.
Nice. Well, I have to give lots of love to Blair Witch, and I have to give lots of love to Cannibal Holocaust, because Blair Witch was the first time that I ever really sat in a movie theater, and it was a full found footage film. Everything was one of those, this is what we found. Cannibal Holocaust was the epitome of found footage, because the whole point of the movie was they go into the Green Inferno, and what do? They find the footage of what happened to these people. It was absolutely perfect that way. However, my favorite found footage film to date, the one that struck a chord with me the most, and I think it was just that it came out at the right time, was Record. Or Wreck.
Right?
Perfect. I love that movie. At a time when I didn't even really have any people that I could talk to about movies regularly, except for Dave, that would consider even watching a movie that was subtitled. It was an absolute gem. Nobody had ever seen this movie out of any of the people that I really talked to or knew. Anybody who was a horror movie fan, I'm not going to watch that. It's subtitled. I'll wait for an American version. Well, shit, you got one eventually. And it wasn't bad. But in my opinion, Wreck is still that much better. And the movie is fast paced. It's everything that found footage should be. It's bloody. It's violent. It's got a great story. And the ending scenes are some of the creepiest scenes I've ever seen filmed in the night vision with the witch.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And, oh, man. And I swear, when
What was the wreck? What was the... So I don't mean to interrupt. It just thought popped in. What was the wreck? Was it Wreck 3, the one, the wedding?
That was the wedding, yes.
Yeah.
Wreck 3.
Okay. I love that one.
It was a good one,
I think
too.
that one's my favorite. When she gets all badass in her wedding dress.
Yeah, and she
I
got
love
the
it.
chainsaw going and shit.
Yeah.
But...
It's adorable.
But there's you can see how Rec had actually influenced certain things too, like the way that the witch moves and acts, and she has like a pipe with her, and she's like, you know, beating the guy to death with the pipe, and just the motions of the slamming of the pipe and stuff. A lot of people attain that to, or you know, compare that to how Fede Alvarez filmed the possessed people in Evil Dead, the remake. You know, very limp. And, you know, slashing and slapping in certain ways, you know, right? And when the guy's getting beaten, he's sitting there with the nails in him and shit, and he's getting beaten and stuff, and it's freaking, you know, brutal. But I got to go with Wreck. That's just what I got to say. So, that being said...
Funny, I absolutely forgot about Wreck when... Yeah.
Oh.
I love Wreck.
But
I love Quarantine, too. See, I saw Quarantine first.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know
With Jennifer Carpenter.
Rec or record, because that's what it is.
Technically,
it's abbreviation for record.
Yep.
Because you're recording with the camera.
Yes.
But everybody calls it Rec, so we'll call it Rec. But I didn't find out about Rec until I was working at Blockbuster. And I was like, why does this movie look just like Quarantine? Like, and I'm like, oh, okay. And
Americans didn't like an un-American movie.
Well, it's like almost identical.
It is almost identical. It's almost a
Shot for shot, frame for
frame,
word for word.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the thing that I like the best about the original Rec in the series is that you can watch 1 and 2 and 3 back to back, and it's just a continuing story, and it all feels perfect together.
Oh, there is a Rec 4. Has anybody seen that?
Yes,
I haven't.
Rec 4 Apocalypse. It's great. It's great, but it's not a found footage film. They basically said, here's Rec 1, Rec 2, and Rec 3, and then Rec 4 takes place later, and it was an actual movie, not found footage. Basically kind of finishing
it's set in that
story.
World, but it's...
Yeah, it wraps everything up nicely. Well, kind of. It's got a real downer friggin' ending, but... it wraps up the storyline pretty well. So, all right, gentlemen, we got to wrap this up. We got to go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to begin our discussion on a few things. But first, Tim has a little something to say when we get back. All right, so coming back in a moment. See you in a minute.
Greetings from Tromaville. I'm Lloyd Kaufman, president of Troma Entertainment and creator of The Toxic Avenger. You know, folks, when we're not making those great movies like Tromeo and Juliet and Return to Nukamai, a.k.a. Volume 2, the Troma team and I like to kick back and listen to They Cast from the Coast. They Cast from the Coast is really the best entertainment, the best education, and the best emotional liberation that Lloyd Kaufman can possibly experience. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. As we continue this episode 39 of They Cast from the Coast. Quick before we continue, a quick shout out to my buddy Sean Smithson for all the love on the podcast. Thanks a lot, guy. And he's been spreading the word, spreading the love.
Thanks a lot, guy.
Thanks a lot, guy. So if you're listening, what's up?
All right.
But we need to get into part of the conversation for the night because found footage is this subgenre de la jour. I want to say it's what we're going to talk about today. Tim, I think you have something very special to say.
Well, this segment will be a rated S for shit.
Shit.
Okay, so there's one specific type of thing that has been just driving me nuts for the last couple years with a certain type of found footage movie. Alien abduction found footage movies for the most part, get me kind of excited. I love the idea of horror movies being found footage. I love the idea of aliens because they kind of creep the hell out of me. You pair the two of them together and, you know, that sounds like movie gold. And I get duped every time I sit down to watch one of these fucking things. Every time, okay? So, we're going to do this a little bit different tonight with our Rated S for Shit, where I'm literally going to break it down into 3 separate different movies. The first film that I'm going to talk about is how you should do it. So this is technically not going to be counted as a Rated S for Shit, but the 2 following movies that I'm going to discuss are absolutely shitty movies. Okay?
Shitty.
We're going to start it off with the found footage movie VHS 2. In particular, the last movie or short film of this film called Slumber Party Alien Abduction, directed by hometown hero
Yes, sir.
Jason Eisner. This movie, to give you kind of a little synopsis of it, young brothers Gary and Randy attach a camera to their little Yorkshire Terrier dog named Tank. It's adorable. To create videos at their lakeside house. After their parents leave, Gary and Randy invite over their friends to have kind of a slumber party, and they more or less harass their older sister Jen and her boyfriend Zach. There's a bunch of shit that happens. They go swimming in the lake and they dive down and they see an alien under the water, which is kind of weird. And that basically starts the whole thing going. Later that night, the aliens begin frightening the kids with bright lights, loud noises, the same kind of shit you see in found footage movies all the time. There's all kinds of havoc going, and all while this is happening, Tank, the little dog, still has this camera on his back, recording a bunch of shit. They basically get away, they get picked off one by one, getting abducted, and then finally, I believe it was Gary, is the last one left, and he's with Tank, and they're hiding in the barn, and a tractor beam from the alien ship picks them up. And Gary's gone, and I guess the tractor beam knew that Tank wasn't a human and dropped him from some unforeseen height. And the camera and Gary fall back to Earth.
Tank, yes.
And Tank is mortally injured and whimpers, and he dies as the camera dies, fade to black. It was a wonderful little found footage alien abduction movie. I really liked it.
Done in a short amount of time, too.
Absolutely. I think it was only like 15 minutes long. Like, it wasn't that long of a movie at all.
Yeah.
So, that was 2013 when that came out. And like I said, when I first watched it, I really enjoyed it. It got the creepiness of the aliens. It was how to do a found footage movie, in particular, a alien found footage movie. So now we get into a movie that thoroughly pissed me off, titled Alien Abduction from 2014. And I, again, was really excited, and I was fucking duped. This is the first time I was duped by one of these movies. A vacationing family encounters an alien threat in this thriller based on the real-life Brown Mountain Lights phenomenon in North Carolina. I hated this movie so fucking much, and I was shocked to see when I went on like IMDb that everybody's giving this like a positive rating, which I absolutely didn't expect. The aliens looked fake. The acting was horrible. There was no suspense at all. Poorly written dialogue. It was just a shit show. I'm not going to get into any more specifics about, this horrible plot line and all this kind of stuff. A bunch of shit happens. That's all you need to know.
Shit!
A bunch of shit happens. But at the end of this movie, it ends with the camera falling from the ship through the sky to land smashed on the ground. Very reminiscent of Jason Eisner's movie. Okay, so they kind of copied the ending. 2015, we enter the found footage movie called Area 51 by Oren Peli, who's best known for Paranormal Activity. You think with that kind of gravity that his name would bring with the type of films that he was in, that this would be a good movie. It was not.
No.
It was not.
Did he direct it? Or was it produced by Oren Peli?
I want to say he directed it.
Okay, continue your rant. I shall confirm.
All right. So, kind of brief synopsis of Area 51 is 3 young conspiracy theorists attempt to uncover the mysteries of Area 51, the government's secret location rumored to have hosted alien beings. And what they find at this hidden facility exposes unimaginable secrets. Yes. The only secret about this movie is that it's fucking horrible, and I want to let everybody know that.
So it's not a secret anymore. It is shit!
Well, it's absolute shit. Oren Peli takes his own take on this concept of a alien abduction kind of conspiracy theory movie. A bunch of shit happens. And basically these 3 guys get teamed up with this girl. The girl, or one of them, their father worked there at some point, and that's how they were able to get all these things. And they plan on infiltrating the military base by using signal jammers, night vision goggles, and freon-laced jumpsuits and pills to mask their ammonia levels. Because apparently there's all these sensors on, the outside of Area 51. So these 4 fucking idiots basically, found a way to get into Area 51. And if I remember correctly, the way they snuck around, they were like, quiet, you can't be too loud, we're sneaking around Area 51. Like, it was literally like that, right? So they get in, and they find this, deeper underground complex, and it's almost like this cave-like structure, and they find various articles of clothing, toys, and then later pods of human, blood and, organs and stuff like that. Ew. But then all of a sudden, the chamber loses gravity, and we, the audience, along with the fucking idiots in this movie, realize that they're not actually in an underground chamber. They found their way into the actual spaceship. And this flying silver alien spaceship takes off. And it ends. Can you guys guess how?
No, Tim, just tell us, please.
With the fucking camera being thrown out the spaceship, landing on planet Earth, smashed, plummets to the ground. It's 3 fucking movies with the same ending, the same premise. It drives me nuts.
Well, how the fuck else were we supposed to find the footage, Tim?
Oh my god, don't make the fucking movie.
And
honestly, though.
Yes, Oren Peli directed it and wrote it.
And, I mean, apparently, this movie was actually made in 2009 and didn't get released till 2015 because it sucked. I wonder why. But the thing that drives me nuts about this is that it's one of those easy, let's do a found footage movie with aliens, right? And I know there's other movies that I've seen that had the same ending of the camera falling down, and it was like, I finished Area 51 and I was like, I finished Alien Abduction and I was like, I've seen this ending before. Where did I see this before? And then I watched Area 51 and I was like, I can't fucking believe, I got angry. I'm getting angry right now. I'm getting angry right now because I would not consider myself a filmmaker by any way, shape, or form, but I know movies, and I've made some, short little films and stuff like that, and I know, me and Adam have collaborated on stuff, and we're all going to do, secret projects coming up. And these fucking people have the opportunity to not only make a movie and have the funds to make it and all the special effects and the fucking actors and all this, and this is what comes out. Wasted fucking opportunities, and it drives me nuts because I know if I was giving that opportunity, I would do something fucking amazing.
So what are you trying to say, Tim?
I want to make an alien found footage movie.
And have it end with the camera falling out and falling to the earth and smashing.
No, that's not what I want to do.
No, okay.
But
oh wait, then I totally got the wrong impression from what you were saying.
No, what I'm saying is that why do these movies all have to have the same ending? Like, they're completely different starting off. Alien found footage movie, like right there is, the things that these all have in common, but their stories are very different. But then they all end the same, and it's like there's more than just. I got a headache now.
You got a headache now. That just means that, Tim, we got to take a quick break because you got a headache.
I'll be okay.
He'll be okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tim's very first
rated ass for shit.
Coming back in a minute, everybody.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Grave Encounters.
Psychiatric hospitals like this were seen as sort of a dumping ground for embarrassing family members rather than a place that they could go to actually get help.
Many of them were severely disturbed. It's truly frightening.
I swear to God that I saw someone right at the end of the hall there.
And he swears that something pushed him off the ladder.
So you guys see this window here? I lock it up real good at night. Come back in the morning, sometimes this thing's wide open.
Tonight, my crew and I, using the most sophisticated in ghost hunting equipment, we're in search of definitive proof of spirits that were unsettled in life and possibly unsettled in the afterlife. Is there someone here with us?
What if this is something real?
Did you get that?
TC, you rolling, man?
I'm gonna document everything because when we get out of this place, people are gonna want to see this.
Matt and Houston are gone. We just need to focus on finding a way out. There's something over there. Where are you?
Hey, who are you? How come you're in here?
Welcome back, everybody. That was a wonderful, wonderful Rated S for Shit by our very own Tim Johnson. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
And, I'm pretty sure that everybody will enjoy hearing that. So, on to the topic of the night, because we talked about the good, the bad,
I think I blacked out. I don't
remember the last 5 minutes.
I don't remember what I said.
Good thing I was recording. Jeez.
Go ahead.
Tim's gonna be like, what was I on? Tonight, we are going to focus on one movie in particular. This was a good lead in to a quick discussion on a movie that came up for... Tim, you brought this one up, didn't you? You wanted to do this one because we were going to talk about found footage films coming up anyway. And then this film came up and Tim's like, yeah, man, I revisited this movie and let's talk about it. Tonight, we're going to talk about Grave Encounters from the Vicious Brothers. Tim, do you want to take us out on this one?
Oh, sure. Okay, so this movie is it's a found footage movie, obviously, and it's a ghost hunting reality show. And this production crew locks himself inside an abandoned mental hospital that's supposedly haunted. and it might prove all to be true. And it's basically the exploits of the Grave Encounters team that their footage was found, and this guy, this sleazy producer guy, put it out as a found footage, and it was really good.
Yeah.
All right. So it was really good. So, okay. So that's a good indication of the story. So, it takes advantage of the cultural, the huge acceptance in TV culture right now of ghost hunting. You know, you got like the Ghost Hunters, the TAPS groups, and you got like Most Haunted and all these other TV shows out there. So there you have this movie, which basically plays on the fact of, you know, what if this was real and something bad can happen from this scenario. And it works.
Yeah, no, and I thought that it was really well acted. The movie's basically about Lance Preston and his crew of Grave Encounters. Like we said, they are a ghost hunting reality TV show, and they're shooting an episode, I believe it was episode 6, inside the abandoned Collinswood Psychiatric Hospital, where unexplained phenomenon has been reported for years. They go into it basically, you know, hoping that they get something real, but their reality show is exactly what it is, a scripted reality show. And they got the psychic, who's probably one of my favorite characters in the movie.
He turns it on and off so well.
Yeah, I love him. What was his name? Houston Gray.
Gray.
Yeah, Houston, the psychic, and you got the film crew, and then of course you got the host, Lance Preston. And the longer that they're in this hospital, shit starts happening, and it's you know, they try to capture everything on camera. They got cameras set up in all these hallways. They got, like I said, the film crew that actually has cameras. The individual people have cameras, and they quickly realize that the building is more than just haunted. It's, I guess, alive. It's almost as if the walls and the hallways are shifting on purpose, and they find themselves lost in a labyrinth maze of endless hallways and corridors, terrorized by the ghosts of former patients. And it's one of the few times in a movie like this, this is 2011, where I find movies nowadays, when they want to do like a ghost or a haunted person, they always do kind of the black around the eyes and the big mouth, almost like they did in The Ring, like that kind of Ring ghost. But it worked really well in this, and as the movie goes on, they more or less start questioning their own sanity, slipping deeper and deeper into the depths of madness, and ultimately discovering the truth behind the hospital's dark past. And they basically filmed the whole thing, and it turns out to be, this was the last episode of Grave Encounters.
Yes. So, interestingly enough, the big things that I took from this movie were the fact that it really does show that the characters that are being played are amateur. They're amateur filmmaking for the show. They're amateur ghost hunters. It's all scripted for the most part. And they're basically, I mean, they're paying the gardener at one point $20 to say, yeah, I saw a ghost over there.
He was over there.
He was over
really
there.
Scary. Yeah,
it was scary.
So when they first go up to him, they're like, yeah, did you see it? No, man.
I haven't seen anything. Here's $20. Oh, I seen him over there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
whatever. Like, get the petty cash out. Get the petty cash out. Here's $20.
So, Dave, what do you think of the story?
So, when Tim first mentioned that he wanted to talk about Grave Encounters, I kind of groaned and went, oh, not that movie. And let me explain why. Because I mistook this movie for another one that came out around the same time with a very, very similar storyline. And the movie's called Episode 50. And it's about a ghost hunting reality show.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
And they go into
shitty.
That was rated S for shit, let me tell you. Because they go into this abandoned hospital shooting their anniversary 50th episode, and obviously shit hits the fan and becomes supernatural and the ghosts and everything else, but it was shit. Like, it was poorly done. Anyway, I had this movie confused with that one. So when I turned it on, I'm like, this is different. I don't recognize this. This is actually really good. And I mean, within the first 10 minutes, I was hooked. It's like I was watching Ghost Hunters, but what if Ghost Hunters was real? Like, what if this shit really went down? And the setup for the movie was exactly the same type of setup that you... And it's the exact same thing that you see in these reality shows where they're setting up the cameras, the angles. Yep. The footage is just like what you see on these reality shows on TV. So I mean, if you've ever watched these shows, and certainly I've watched my fair share, and I get hooked on them sometimes, it sucked me in, and I was completely absorbed in this movie, and it was terrifying, it was well done, it was suspenseful, and you really weren't sure what was going to happen, and it was really like I was sitting down and watching a Halloween special of Ghost Hunters or something, or Paranormal Adventures, or whatever those shows are called. And I loved it. I thought it was very well done, and I finished that one. And
Tim did good?
Tim did good, absolutely. And yeah, hands down, I thought it was a very well done movie. Very well done found footage movie. And I sat down and watched the sequel. The sequel wasn't quite as good. It definitely had some shortcomings, but...
It was all right.
It was all right. What I did like about the sequel was a little bit of an explanation, like Adam mentioned, about the shifting walls, and basically it's a big maze. You find out there's some truth to it being a labyrinth, and it shifting, and it reminded me of... I can't think of the movie right now, but it reminded me of other movies where, like Cube, right? Where those... Cube, yeah. Where you go into a room and it shifts. It could be something different. You go into another room. Like, it was very well done. I liked that aspect of the second one. And with the portals, and if they wait 5 minutes and open up a door, it leads them to a different part of the hospital. Stuff like that was really well done. I didn't like the beginning part of the second one, but... Okay. I did like the latter, the second half of it. It was pretty good. So, all in all, great movie. I loved it. Highly recommended. Highly recommended.
Okay. I got a little tired watching this movie after a while, admittedly.
Ooh.
Shut up. Shut up, Dave.
Go home.
Shut up, haters. Wait, that's me. Okay. I liked the idea. I liked the story as it was. I don't think that it was executed exactly how it should have been. It failed on quite a few levels for me. Is this movie terrible? No. But is it this amazing found footage film that everybody praises it to be? Hell no. I really don't feel that way. There are much better found footage films than this. Way better found footage films than this. But gotta give it some credit. Well done. It did have a couple of good jump scares. It had a good, decent enough storyline to it. Some of the acting got on my friggin' nerves. I really do not like Lance, the main character.
You're not supposed to. He's that cocky, arrogant.
I know.
He played that part.
He was that part, and it was awesome.
But he annoyed me. Like, and not like a, that's funny, he played that part good. No, he freaking annoyed me. I didn't like him at all.
And that's a sign of a good actor.
Fine. He did a good job acting, but it sucked in otherwise that way. So it's, whatever. My biggest gripe with this entire movie was, and I like I said, I was watching going, okay, this is a decent movie, like right up until the end. And then I come to find out that the ending of the copy that I watched was not the original ending. It was some sort of like an added to, tacked on ending. And it pissed me off to no extent, even though I didn't know it was tacked on. It's just the ending pissed me off. Spoiler alert, everybody. The ending shows Lance after he's just been lobotomized through his eye socket. You can tell because he's bleeding out. And he's doing a sign-off on the goddamn TV show. This is Lance, and you've been watching Grave Encounters. And he's like, fidgeting and shit. And it was terrible. It was freaking stupid. stupid.
We had a conversation about this.
We did, but not
and
on the show.
And I explained to you that they tacked on that ending because halfway through making this movie, they already knew that they were doing the sequel. So the original ending ended with him, the doctor coming, and he drops the camera, and that's it.
And that was it.
Right?
Which it still would have played into the second one better if they didn't do the whole.
Well, they wanted to show that Lance is still alive in this maze of corridors in this place. I agree with you. I thought it was kind of a corny ending anyway, but for that last 30 seconds of this film, am I going to judge the whole thing? Even though I just did a rated S for shit on the last 30 seconds of two other films.
You hypocritical ass!
But with that being said, there's a lot of shitty found footage movies. And for me, this one from 2011, I loved it. I just randomly stumbled upon it a couple of years ago on Netflix. Realized they made a sequel. Like, I had no idea this movie existed, and I thought it was great. Because, yeah, it was corny, and it was annoying, and it was shitty acted at some points, but that all tied into me about the believability of these characters. Because, I mean, they're reality TV stars. They're not really fucking actors. I mean, the people in the movie were really actors, but they were playing... Like you said, they're amateur. They're not thespian actors by any way, shape, or form, you know? And I don't know. I think you're being too hard on it.
So here's the thing, is that some of the best found footage films have a very bleak or shit ending. And I don't mean shit in the terms of, that's fucking stupid. I mean in terms of it couldn't have gone good for them. You know what I mean? Some of the very best. But even some of the worst had it. And you would almost imagine that a movie like this that had a bleak ending, no matter if it was the tacked on ending or the original ending, it was still a bleak ending.
Yeah.
If they don't do it right, it almost seems like they didn't know how to end the movie. And that's exactly the impression that I got from this was, well, how do we wrap this up? Oh, just friggin' do this. I don't give a shit. We're running out of money. The budget's empty. Just friggin' film this. Take 5 minutes and do it. That's how it comes across to me. And it kills the vibe.
But you know what? I think if you had watched the original ending where he just dropped the camera and it was left open-ended, I think people would have shit to say about that too, because there was no closure.
Yeah.
Very true, very true.
And the whole point of the movie that you find out the reason why all this shit is happening, and you get it told to you in a little more detail in the second movie, was once you come into this building, you're considered a patient.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Which was evident from little things that happened, like the bands that appeared on.
Exactly.
And yeah.
And, that was how this doctor cured a lot of the issues, was lobotomize, and it's almost as if Lance now has been cured, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
I think you're just being too hard on it.
Maybe I am.
In the end, we can sit here and pick apart every little detail of these movies, piece by piece, bit by bit. But in the end, like we've said before, did the movie entertain?
Yes.
My answer is yes, 100%, 110%. I was entertained. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Yeah, could the ending have been a little bit better? Possibly, but it wasn't a bad ending.
Okay.
In the end, I was entertained. I walked away from that movie and went, wow, I'd sit down and watch that again. Couldn't wait to watch the sequel.
Sure. So, for me, the best parts of the entire movie were after they had found their buddy, Mike, I want to say, the one that ended up in the hospital gown. They found him. Until they all started disappearing. Like running through the hallways and shit like this. The jump scares that they had, but the arms coming through the walls and the shit flying at them and the ghosts actually starting to appear and stuff like this. Well done.
Oh, it was awesome.
Hats off. at that moment is when the movie picked up for me. And then it dropped again when it was him and her at the end and they went down into the tunnels. And like I said, it just kind of went from like, okay, this is cool, to a little bit boring, to, hey, this is really cool, to boring shit ending to me. And that's what ruined it for me. It really was. But once again, I can give it some props. It did entertain me, and there was some memorable things in this movie. So I will give it credit. Yes. Period. I will.
I guess that's the best we're going to get from him, Dave.
Words out of my mouth. I was trying to figure out the right words to say.
Tim
nailed it. I guess that's the best we're going to get.
I'm not going to shit on it that badly. I mean, because, it isn't muck, or it isn't, friggin' some other bullshit, rated S for shit.
Oh, I got a movie. Okay, it wasn't Suspiria.
It was. Shut up, Tim. So, it is what it is, Okay. Effects, gore, all that good stuff. Tim?
I thought it was really well done.
Well done.
It felt very seamless with a lot of stuff. Like I said, that overuse now of the haunted, possessed, you know what I mean, where the eyes go black and the mouth opens. I've seen that to death, but I felt in this movie it worked. I loved the back and forth between the night vision. I thought that really lended itself for this movie. I thought the big ghosts were creepy as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave?
I thought it was good.
Thoroughly enjoyed. When I watched it, it was kind of like what I want an episode of Ghost Hunters or Strange Adventures or whatever these shows, Paranormal Adventures. It's what I want to happen on one of those shows. You know what I mean? I want them to find something and shit hits the fan and and I got it in this movie.
Well, it is kind of like a bunch of those ones that appear in that Destination America channel, like the mountain monsters and shit like that. There's the Sasquatch, shoot the shit! Like those idiots.
My God.
I hate that shit, man. But then basically, this is like the movie version of those idiots. It's to me. So
yeah, this is This is straight up. This is if Ghost Hunters went into an abandoned hospital and found shit in real life and shit went downhill, and yeah, it was awesome. I think the setup was awesome. I think the premise was awesome. I think the effects were well done. The jump scares were scary. It had mood and atmosphere, and it felt claustrophobic because it was at night and there was no lights and you were seeing everything through the camera. And it was one of those times where I really didn't mind the whole found footage thing with and the shaky cam wasn't even that bad, like some found footage movies.
Yeah.
I found, again, like I was watching a TV show, it was very well done, the found footage aspect, and it made all the difference. And just that whole claustrophobic feel, it was awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
I liked it.
So overall, Tim, you liked it. Dave, you liked it. Thumbs up for both of you.
All right.
All right, and I thought it was okay. So, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah, frig off to you too. So, well, anything else you guys want to add to this movie? Because otherwise, we're done for the night, man. We're gonna wrap this up. Keep the episode bite sized.
Really? Because I wanted to get into all the complex
Okay, complex and grave encounters in the same sentence.
The parallel
It
universes.
doesn't happen.
I wanted to get into all the little subtle nuances of the actors and the
theoretical
the
amazing. Shut up.
I'm good. Let's end it.
Doesn't happen. All right. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Episode 39. It's been a blast, and we hope that you paid. You go back and you listen to the other episodes and stick around with us as we continue on this journey, this wonderful journey, as it was so described earlier, because we have episode 40 coming up. So it's starting towards a milestone. 50 will come sooner than we think, gentlemen. And
spread the word.
Spread the word, and we got the fans to thank for that. So, shout out to everybody. Don't forget, check us out, Misunderstood Art Company on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share it, comment on our videos. We love, interacting with people. Check us out on Facebook. We have the Facebook page for all of our updates. Plus, we have the Facebook group for discussions. Feel free to join up and post and chat and talk with other, friends and family and fans of the show. So, until next time, everybody, Tim? Oh, no, I'm not. Dave. Good.
What?
I just wanted to cut you
We've
off.
done this 39 times.
Oh, yeah, until next time. Dave?
Good night.
Tim?
I'm thrown off. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I was looking at Tim's face and he's going,
Stay spooky, everybody, he says. All right, everybody, I'll see you next time for episode 40, which will be a surprise because I don't even think we know what it's going to be.
of course we do.
Of course we do. Have a good night, everybody. See you next time. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week to They Cast from the Coast. We hope you enjoyed the topic and the discussion that we've had tonight. We're very excited about everything that's being produced right now in conjunction with the Misunderstood Art Company. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Say hi in the comments section. And just in general, check out the other content that's being offered, once again, under the Misunderstood Art Company. If you want to listen just to the audio portion of this show itself, we're making it available on iTunes, Google Play, and TuneIn on top of the YouTube channel itself. So thank you very much again for your continued support. Check out the rest of the Misunderstood Art Company's offerings. Might even see some familiar faces. And until next time, take it easy.